why is there an aisle in the middle of the classroom? And they said, it's so that way we can welcome the devil Lucifer. And I asked them, what are you talking about? And then there was a tent in front of the aisle, and they said, if you get the mark from him, you can get food, water, shelter, and everything you need. But if you do not get the mark, then you can go inside the tent, but you don't get anything. And when we went in, it was like a bathroom, and there was this little box, but it looked like a stand. And there was a sticky note, and it said, you are going to pass the third seal from God. But when I got out, everything was destroyed. And I couldn't find you guys. The class was torn apart. I didn't see you guys in the Bible.
Shalom, shalom, all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, Ba'asham Rakah Kwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone, and salutations to all the sincere. Once again, it's your brother Abawan doing another video. Ask and ye shall receive. Seek and ye shall find. Knock and the door shall be opened unto you. Once again, all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, Ba'asham Rakah Kwadash. And I was thinking of doing a video concerning, Joel 2 verse 26 or 28. I forget the exact precept. So let me quickly go to that, okay? Joel 2 and the 28th verse, and it reads, and it shall come to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, your old men shall dream dreams, and your young men shall see visions. And this is the fulfillment of that prophecy, because even the wacky-tacky Christians can see it. And basically what that young child, Edomite he may be, what that young child saw was the vision of the end, or at least an interpretation of it. Because he dreamt the dream, he saw the vision, but he could not understand what it actually was. And in my mind, I was thinking that, man, I really want to do a video on this Joel 2 verse 28 about how, the spirit is causing people to dream and to see visions, because I recently did a video concerning a dream that I had as well. It wasn't a prophetic dream or anything, just a normal, dream. Like dreams are just a normal spiritual dream. And the kid was going into his dream, and basically what he was talking about in his dream was the next major prophecy that's about to come up on the earth, which is the MOTB, right? Where he said that there was a little tent, and that there was a let's go back to the video first, I beg. Let's go back to the video and see and let's go back to the video, and we'll take what he said one by one. Did not mean to like that. I'm trying to play it, but I don't want to play. Let me just go back and replay it.
I saw this aisle, and I asked them, why is there an aisle in the middle of the classroom? And they said, it's so that way we can welcome the devil Lucifer. And I asked them, what are you talking about? And then there was a tent in front of the aisle, and they said, if you get the mark from him, you can get food, water, shelter, and everything you need.
And that is, of course, going into the MOTB and what we teach that it is, okay? And we're going to, and normally I would go into the book of Revelation 13 verse 16, but screw it, I'm feeling, screw it. Let's Israel don't do what he wants to do. This precept has to come out, because we are in those times, we are in the thick of it right now. And it should be brought out what is about to come upon the earth. So this is the book of Revelation 13 verse 16. And that this video, the context of this video requires me to bring out this precept, okay? Revelation 13 verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So unless you have the mark of the beast or the name of the beast or the number of the name of the beast, which is all going into the exact same thing, the RFID digital microchip, because if you really want to go into it, the MOTB is the RFID microchip, right? The name of the beast is the RFID microchip, because it is contained, all those things are contained in the RFID microchip, okay? And which, of course, you already know through prophecy Okay, yeah, it's military prophecy that the mark of the beast, the MOTB, is the implantable RFID microchip. And once again, you have seen another individual, another child, okay, another individual, another person on this planet have a dream or a vision, because that's what it truly is, about how the MOTB will be forcefully implemented upon all the people. And it's not telling you that unless you have that mark, unless you take that mark, right, you can't eat, you can't buy, you can't sell, you can't really do anything, okay? Unless you receive that mark. And it's also telling you, because before he talked about the mark, he talked about what? That he saw an aisle in his classroom, okay, which is where these children right nowadays spend most of their time, right? 8 hours in the day, I believe. They spend it in school, which is most of the time, because the rest of that, they spend 8 hours in school, they are doing 6 to 8 hours of sleep, and the rest of that time period, which is roughly 8 hours again, right? Because it is the 24 hours in a day, 8 times 3 is 24. So you spend 8 hours in school, 8 hours sleeping, and the rest of the 8 hours, doing whatsoever. So most of the time, these kids are in school, right? So he saw this classroom, which really can represent anywhere, not just a classroom, because even in these schools as well, they will have chipping stations, and they will also have what they call it, and they will also have places to check if you have the MOTB. Because, and the case in point, the example to that, to show you actually that this will actually come, is the fact that in schools now, especially in schools in California, that teachers can recommend or assign students their gender. Basically, they can choose to make a student of that, of the who of the what alternative lifestyle, that if a student feels like they want to transition or something like that, so teachers can actually set that up for them, and can actually change. I've forgotten the exact details of it, but let me see if I can get that, where the California school board. Let me just confirm the information before I bring it out. So yeah, I've forgotten the exact details. It's been so long since I actually went into it. I actually had to go and check it out and look it up. Yes, let me see. I think it's what I was looking for. Well, I think this is it right here. California School Board votes to uphold so-called parental secrecy policy for the transgender students. Let me just say it as it is, okay? Because that whenever we talk about these kind of things, us talking about the alternative lifestyle group or anything concerning scriptures or Bible prophecy, Israel always uses that as an excuse to flag the video. Oh, hate speech. Oh, medical misinformation. Oh, this and that. Anything that they can use to flag the video. The article reads on: the Chico Unified School Board in Chico, California, voted Wednesday evening to uphold its so-called parental secrecy policy, which says that school staff should not reveal a transgender student's gender identity to their parents without the child's permission. The vote comes after the Center for American Liberty filed a lawsuit against the school district on behalf of Aurora Regino, a mother who accused a guidance counselor of helping her 11-year-old biological daughter transition to a male without the family's knowledge. That's exactly what I'm talking about, and this is showing you that even in these schools, you will have all these chipping stations, and you will have people, government officials in these schools, checking the MOTB status of these kids, okay? Because they're already setting up the bills to hide information from their parents, right? And basically going back to the vision that this young boy saw. He saw in his school an aisle, and they were preparing the way for Satan in his school, which is also a representation of preparing the way for the MOTB, because that's really what I was going into. It wasn't actually going into preparing the way for Satan, because Satan is already in these schools, man. Satan is already all up and about in Babylon the Great. What he's actually talking about, the Satan that is talking about, the devil that he was talking about, was the MOTB. And right now, okay, as we speak, this MOTB RFID microchip, the way for it is being prepared by Esau Edom. The process to push the RFID microchip, the MOTB, throughout the whole earth, and to eventually mandate and forcefully implement it upon all the people of the earth is being set up already. All the different infrastructures to control and to, with which to use to push the MOTB on the earth has already been set up. And all that is left is for these devils to just finally push, bring it out, on a large global scale, and force all the, and then eventually mandate all the people to take it, which is exactly what he was talking about, okay? And which is exactly what the scriptures here are talking about as well. Let's go back to the video and play a little bit more.
But if you do not get the mark, then you can go inside the tent, but you don't get anything. And when we went in, it was like a bathroom, and there was this little box, but it looked like a stand, and there was a sticky note, and it said, "You are going to pass the third seal with God." But when I got out, everything was destroyed.
And then he's talking about, the tent in the classroom, which, this is just me speaking as a man, but I believe that represents the female camps, because you know what the scripture says. And let's go to that in the book of Revelation, the 2nd chapter, okay? Because let's get that Revelation 2, and that will be Revelation 2 verse 10, and it reads, "Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life." And what that represents is the female camps, because the female camps, okay? Because you know that anybody that is found without the MOTB in that day, they'll be rounded up and put and thrown into these female camps, okay? And where they will be tortured, where they will be beheaded, because even the scriptures goes into that as well. All kinds of different, whatever Esau Edom has prepared for people during that time, or at least those that reject the MOTB. But mainly he'll be looking for the men of the Lord in order to, let's get that one as well. Revelation 12 verse 12, okay? So this is the book of Revelation 12 verse 12. "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time." Because you know that he had a short time, he has a short time. He will come down with that great wrath. It's also in the book of 2nd Esdras, the 16th chapter, where it says that they shall, let's get that, there shall be a great insurrection, right, against those that fear the Most High, I believe. 2nd Esdras 16 verse 78, I believe that's where the precept is. Let me quickly jump to that. 2nd Esdras 16, I believe that is 70, is in the lower chapters, 70-ish something. Here it is. 2nd Esdras 16 verse 70. "For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear Yahweh." Because Esau, and they already have our information. They have us, they're already watching us, and they have us under surveillance, right? But eventually the time will come when these devils fully, when the Most High gives Esau, full, the full authority, or the full power to actually come down on us and to start the persecution train on the men of the Lord. When they start rounding up brothers and throwing them into female camps, right? Or when they start rounding up brothers and beheading them, executing them on the side, or torturing brothers, whatever, Lord the Most High has set up for us. Continuing on, 2nd Esdras 16 verse 72. "For they shall waste and take," okay, 2nd Esdras 16 verse 71, sorry. "They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear Yahweh." And in that day, we already know how it's going to be now. This is the time of Jacob's trouble that the scriptures talk about, where our people will have to go through that, tribulation, that affliction, that trouble, right? Basically, in order to get into the kingdom, which is why the scriptures say this. Okay, I will go to the book of Revelation 3, verse 10, and it reads, "Because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth." And in that time, our people will still be protected from, the wrath of this devil from Esau, Edom, and even those men that be put to death, they are going to receive those crowns, okay? Basically they be martyrs for the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. So Joel 2 verse 28 has come out once again, and you see another young child, another individual, whether Edomites or heathen or any other nationality or Jake, he has seen a vision, right? He has seen the sign of the end. The MOTB is going to be pushed throughout the four corners of the earth, and when it is pushed, right, those that receive the mark will be able to continue to buy and to sell, to transact in this kingdom and continue living and existing in Esau Edom's kingdom, and of course as slaves, because that's what the mark is really for. And those that refuse to take the mark will not be able to function or do anything in this kingdom, not even buy or sell, not even live in this kingdom. And those that are found without the mark are going to be rounded up and thrown into these female camps, because you do have brothers that won't take the mark, that will be able to escape and hide out in the in the remote parts of the world until the deliverance comes, right? But you also have brothers that will be rounded up and thrown into these female camps, beheaded or whatever have you. Okay, whatever laws that the Most High brings, they'll put to our people. And he also talked about the third seal. Let me see whether I can get that precept. The third seal. He said that he talked about the third seal of God, right? I see that is what he said. As soon as he entered the tent and he came out of it, he said what he said was that he saw the third seal of God. And when he came out of the tent, he saw that everything was destroyed, which represents, of course, the destruction of America, Babylon the Great, when our Lord Yahushua returns. So when he's talking about the third seal, actually what he's talking about is the return of our Lord Yahushua, not the actual third seal here in the book of Revelation, the 6th chapter. Revelation 6 verse 5. And when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, Come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, A measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. And see, thou hurt not the oil and wine. And what this represents is inflation, hyperinflation, right? Of course, it says famine here, but what it actually represents is inflation and hyperinflation. And what you are seeing on the earth right now, where the dollar is at an all-time high, all the currencies of the world are at an all-time high, because what Esau Edom is trying to do is he's trying to phase out the fiat currency, right, and introduce his crypto CBDC digital currency. Once again, another infrastructure pointing to the RFID microchip, right? Because the way in which transactions will be taking place from now on is through digital currency, contactless payments, virtual and digital payments, all being controlled with one single chip inside your inside your finger. Look how convenient that is. With a swipe of the wrist, you can pay for all your products in a store, all the products you want to buy. With a swipe of the wrist, you can unlock your doors, unlock your car, start your car, on your television, do this and that. This is why Israel is even setting up the 5G, the Internet of Things, the smart TV, smart microwave, smart fridge. All your household appliances, and all your household appliances now have that, and are now smart. Okay, which is why it's setting up the AI as well with GPT. Okay, as useful as that is, let's not be confused about why it's being set up. What Esau Edom needs, okay, and this is what Esau Edom needs is a supercomputer that is capable of handling all the information that these RFID microchips will be managing and processing every single day. And that's what all this AI technology is being developed for. That's why you people are out here being the guinea pigs for it, test running it, because it works in twofold. One, you're now getting used to working with AI and artificial intelligence, and two, you are feeding it information, okay? Feeding it, all the information that it needs to learn and to get smarter and smarter up until it can actually control and process the information that is going to be brought up by this RFID microchip. Because ultimately, what that AI is going to be is going to be the primary processing device for the information that is being and the information that is being processed by the RFID microchip, the transactions, the data, the medical data, all the biometric data, right? All the security data, so on and so forth. Okay, but let's get back to what I was talking about. Where and let's play that last part of the video again. You know, this was actually a good vision that this kid had. Lots of meat to bring out from it. Let's continue play. Let's play it.
It was like a bathroom, and there was this little box, but it looked like a stand, and there was a sticky note, and it said, "You are going to pass the third seal of God." But when I got out, everything was destroyed, and I couldn't find you guys. The class was torn apart. I didn't see you guys in the Bible.
Can, and that represents the destruction, right? But of course, you know, in the destruction, there's not going to be a torn apart. There's not going to be anything left because all the, you know, as the scripture says that in the book of Second Peter, the earth and all the works therein shall be burned up. So there's not going to be a remnant. Okay, so that makes me think that maybe it's not actually talking about the destruction, but this is the book of Second Peter 3 verse 10. But the day of Yahweh will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. So there's not going to be any remnant, you know, there's not going to be any, you know, class torn apart and in pieces, right? Or anything um or any recognizable debris, you know, of the or sign of destruction. What is going to be instead is just going to be a complete desert, as the scriptures say. Let's see if I can get that precept. Yeah, the dragons of the wilderness. Or the one I says that every unclean and hateful bird, right? Then just get. Let's start from here first. So this is the book of Malachi 1 verse 3. And I hated Esau and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom Yahweh hath indignation forever. Because the works of Esau, Edom, and his kingdom will be destroyed, which of course you know that America, Babylon the Great, you know, Europe, and all of this world right now is Esau, Edom's kingdom, because he has been given rulership over all the earth. But let's get this one now. So let's get this one. I guess this one I was actually looking for. Yes, this is it right here. This is it right here. So this is the book of Revelation 18 verse 1. And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is falling, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. And this is, of course, going into the destruction of Babylon the Great. And you see that, you know, it will become a desolate wilderness where no man will dwell in again. Okay, because of the destruction. You know, how that precept go? Let me also get that one as well. And it shall leave them neither roots or stem. I've forgotten where that precept is from. I think it's root or branch. It shall leave them neither roots or branch. Here it is. Yeah, this is it right here. Malachi 4 verse 1. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble, and the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith Yahweh of hosts, that it shall leave them neither roots nor branch. And that is representing the destruction of Babylon the Great. It is going to be a complete and utter destruction. So there's not going to be any debris, there's not going to be any remnants, any ruins that you can go to and look at and say, oh, this used to be Times Square in New York, this used to be Hollywood, this used to be this area or that area or anything like that, okay? But when he was talking about it, you know, he said that there was still going to be, you know, all these pieces of his school on the ground, right? Pieces of his house on the ground that you see his spirits. That's not going to happen because even the scriptures tell you that even the people will be completely consumed with fire as well. They will be melted, right? But anyway, let me go back to this video. And I want to open up the comment section and see what the people have to say about this vision, because you're going to find out that what they're going to say isn't really going to matter, or they're just going to be saying some bugged out or confused nonsense. But the reason why I want to open the comment board and show what they have to say is because a preset popped into my mind when I was seeing this video. Because you have all these people that will look at it from a Christian perspective, right? The perspective of Wakitake Christianity, where they will see all these visions, and all the child has to say, but they will not be able to but they will not understand or even be able to break down or explain what the child actually saw. Now let's see what they have to say. Z's lifestyle. All we can do is pray. I don't know when it arrives, but I hope God will turn it around for good. I'm not getting the mark. God revealed things to this baby. Blessed be he understood. Blessings on him and his family. I wish I could tell this young man how strong he is. This gave me chills. People need to stay in prayer and get right with Yah. Time is death running out. And some of those Yah bless Israelites. Anyway, and this one is Keoni. I want to hug him. Kids just don't have dreams like that for no reason. He looked into the future and saw what's coming up. He's a messenger for sure. And it's all just the same thing. No precepts coming out, no trying to understand or explain the breakdowns, and it's all just going into, their emotions, right? They're going into their emotions and their feelings. Oh, nobody's even acknowledging that it was a message or a vision from the Most High, or they're just talking about the child, talking about how, talking about basically just talking about the child, talking about everything except for the scriptures. And let's get this precept in the book of Isaiah. And this is what I will close out with. And the vision is brought like, okay, it is. And the vision is prepared like, how's that go again? Let me just bring that out. And the vision is came like unto all as I think that should be in the book of Isaiah 29. I forget where all these precepts are at. I always mix up the precepts in Isaiah 28 and 29 because they almost are the same thing. Isaiah 29 verse 11. And the vision of all is become unto you as the words of a book that is sealed, which men deliver to one that is learned, saying, Read this, I pray thee. And he said, I cannot, for it is sealed. And the book is delivered to him that is not learned, saying, Read this, I pray thee. And he said, I am not learned. And basically the point being that, if you present this vision of this child to any Wakitaki Christian, right, and you try to ask them, what is this breakdown going into? What does this mean? What is this third seal? What is the tenth? What does this dream represent? They will be unable to actually tell you the breakdown or even go into it, because these Christians, they don't know what the MOTB is. You have some Christians that will say, oh, well, the MOTB actually is the RFID microchip, right? But if you ask them to break down why they believe it's the RFID microchip, they won't be able to really go into it. They don't know about the charagma, they don't know about the shy chai stigma, they don't know about any of that, okay? And if you ask them to try and break down what the main okay, I already said that, but if you ask them to try and break down what the vision that the child saw, they will be unable to as well. What does the tent represent, right? What does preparing the way for all those little things, which is something that's, if you are in the truth, of course, the Christians aren't in the truth, but you should be able to do. And it should be apparent, clear as day, that the RFID microchip is the MOTB, okay? So with that, I'll end the video right there. All praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahawashai, Yahweh Ba'asham Yahawashai, Ba'asham Rakak, Wadash, Wa Abad Babal, and through the Spirit help you Akyam, and you are quite edified. Shalom.